upon whose unceded land we produce this show. Open Stage commits to the work of dismantling the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and the exclusions and erasures of many indigenous peoples that continue today. At Open Stage, we also believe that Black Lives Matter, and you should too. That belief starts with acknowledging plainly how the systems we depend on often operate as if they don't. We at Open Stage proudly stand united with Black people and communities of color during this movement of unrest and uprising. This show is brought to you by Open Stage, a professional theater company. Check out Open Stage's complete list of shows, all of which are offered completely free this season at openstagehbg.com. Thank you and enjoy the show.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatred. But still like life, I'll ride.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war. The bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood.
Well. We are here for the Black NewsBeat election special. This is my second one. I'm so excited. I have very special guests here tonight. But before we do that, hey, Boss, did you share the stream? Not yet. Did you share the stream? Hi, Joe. How about you? Did you share the stream? Did you share the stream, Joe? Did you share the stream? Anyway, everyone out there too, as you pop on here, share that stream. We want everyone to see our little election special. So I have two very special guests with me this evening. To my right is Ms. Rachel Hadrick. To my left is Ona Osai. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
We do not have a studio audience this evening, so Gib is going to be my soul clapper. Appreciate you so much. Not S-O-E and S-O-L-E. Okay, because I can't spell when it's live. We had an election today.
We did.
Was y'all out in these streets? Because I was.
We were in the streets. We were in the polling places.
Yep.
We were in the gas stations,
Yep.
the diners.
And
I voted in person.
You voted? Oh, you did? How did that go?
It was pretty easy. I mean, I think the main thing is, like, next time I plan to come prepared with a Sharpie.
Right.
So I can make sure my bubble is completely blackened.
The new since 2019 polling has been weird. The polling, the situation of the polls now, because now instead of doing the press screen thing or the old one where it's like the push button that it lights up and then you press vote, now you bubble it in and then you feed it through the machine. So I haven't done that one yet.
It kind of freaks me out. And like you, I should probably bring a Sharpie. I was like panicking that my bubbles were not, and I was like trying different techniques. Like I'm going to do the middle first, and then I'm going to do the edges.
Absolutely.
And then like one went a little outside. And do you remember like Scantrons?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I remember having to go over those to
Testing
make sure.
anxiety.
Yes, that I actually was incorrect when they said.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it does give me a little
Very
anxiety.
very
There's
stressful.
a little diagram at the top where it's like the check mark is insufficient. The X,
Right. And I'm like,
little tiny dot, like, no, you need to fill in the whole bubble.
and I'm like, did I do a check mark? Like, I know I didn't do a check mark, but I'm like, is my bubble like
Sufficient.
What about like if it's a little away from the edge? Like, is that gonna count? Like, all that anxiety comes up.
I had a hand slip.
Uh-oh.
And a little line, like it was like a little tail.
little tail.
Looked like a little tadpole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the races in Harrisburg City and beyond. But we had city, county, state. There were several different judge questions. Were y'all prepared for the 4 judge questions?
I was.
Yeah.
No, no.
Literally, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to plead the fifth.
Hey!
'Cause I should have been prepared, but no, admittedly, like even unless you go look up your ballot beforehand, there's usually one or two questions that I have to like.
Hey, Rachel, did you see all my WRFO posts?
I did see
And
quite
I
a
said,
few of them.
check your ballot beforehand.
But understandably, many people
Do not. Yeah.
do not have time to do that. I was so yeah. There's always one or two questions that I think I have to like reason my way through.
Oh, absolutely. I did not know. I checked my sample ballot, but I didn't realize there were going to be 4 judgeships on there because the first sample ballot that I checked maybe like a week ago was like, I don't know, it didn't look the same. And
Okay.
so I was very confused when I got my actual ballot. But I had it in advance because I had the mail-in. So I had it in advance, and I took the time, and I looked up every person, and I was like, no.
Hey!
No. So, yeah. So let's go through some things, some seats here. We have Joe in the house. I just want to say shout out to Joe. Thank you for stepping in here. Appreciate you.
Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Joe's on sound. Okay. And computer fact checking. Right. So we had a ton of seats. We had a ton of stuff to vote for in this election. And one of the things that really makes me nervous, where I was working today, only 20% of the whole polling place came out. And there was over 1,000 voters in our polling place.
I mean, it's a municipal election, so did that count the mail-ins?
Yes.
Oh.
The mail-ins that we counted as of 48 hours ago.
Okay.
Not the ones that people probably dropped off today and yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's municipal. It's never really fun. It's very hard for people to understand like what all these jobs are, and they just don't pay attention. So,
You don't think this election was fun as hell?
well,
This one was crazy.
there was a lot of stuff happening.
You also have positions where there's literally no one running, and so again, some people may choose not to vote, or they may try to write someone in. But I mean, that makes municipal elections difficult as well. So when you
Absolutely.
have positions that are up for election and there's literally no candidate, or just one person, so it's like, okay, do I bubble them? Do I put them in? They're going to win anyway. Do I write someone in?
There are some Marvel characters who may or may not win some seats.
Wow.
That is all I'm going to say about how I feel with my ballot today.
So that's a very apt. I wrote myself in 3 times.
Wow.
So I might win something. You know what I'm saying? So let's start with City of Harrisburg City Controller. With 1,829 votes so far, Democratic frontrunner Charlie DeBrunner has 99.18% of the vote so far. I mean, that's 1,800. So I know we've got several more to go. We do have 0.82 of a write-in, 15.
Yeah.
So 18, 14 to 15 votes so far.
I think it's going to be a landslide
I'm
for Charlie.
pretty sure on that one with Charlie. I think Charlie was a running favorite going into this.
Yeah. Are we going to call it? Is it going to be breaking news?
I think we should call it for
Let's
Charlie.
call it. We're calling it for
We're calling
Charlie.
it for Charlie.
What's
Zero
our
it for Charlie.
methodology here?
Oh, our methodology is that's how we feel today.
We feel the vibes. Charlie is sending out vibes. And
yeah, that's how we
think
feel
he's
today.
winning.
By the way, do you guys like my pants?
They're fantastic.
These are delightful. First of all,
I love graphic.
Right.
prints, So
and so I was like, I'm gonna tone down the top so I can wear
Mm-hmm.
some wild bottoms. I was very excited about this. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking. I just looked on the screen and I was like, oh, these pants are nice. Anyway, so yeah, I think we should call for Charlie. Do you have a methodology that you want to use so far with the 1829?
no.
Okay.
But shout outs to my boo Steve Kornacki on MSNBC who does have a method.
Do we have a whiteboard?
Oh,
Do we have a whiteboard?
Nope.
All right. It was
Next
it's worth a
election.
shot.
I mean, we can look at the wood and do some things.
Next election? I'm going to
Definitely. Listen, we're going to really spice it up for the next election because next year we'll get to that at the end. But we do have some important races coming up next year.
Very
So
important.
we'll get to those. So all right, want to go to the next seats?
Yeah, we do.
All right. City Council with wait a minute.
Oh,
There
no.
were
That's good. This is
four
good. Yep, there were
candidates?
four. There were
And you
four
could pick up to
candidates,
four
and you
people.
can pick up to 4 people. So we have.
You're doing the math. We don't have
Very
the
good
whiteboard,
job,
but the
you
math's
did a good job
happening.
there. That was great. So with 6,486 votes, that's because it's 4 people. We have Democrat Ralph Rodriguez. He has the most votes. Well, actually, he has the second most votes so far with 1,626. We have Ms. Jocelyn Rawls, also Democrat, with 1,646. We have Shemaine Daniels with 1,574. And we have Ms. Asha Green with 1,551.
Okay, can we call this one too?
I'm pretty
I
sure.
think we can call it.
I feel like we can. And then we also do have a nonpartisan write-in 1, a nonpartisan write-in 2, a nonpartisan write-in 3, and a nonpartisan write-in 4.
Well, what kind of votes are they getting?
49 for the first one, 21 for the second one, 11 for the third one, and 8 for the last.
So still neck and neck.
It's close. It's close.
So certain individuals have multiple write-ins?
Yeah.
Oh.
So on the ballot, and Joe can fact check me, this is on DauPhinCounty.org. You had the 4 persons who won the primary plus lines where you could write in. It was like pick 4, and then it was write in. So if you didn't like just pick your 4, then you could write in 4 as well.
They give you 4 write-in slots.
Yeah.
But I
So-
think what Rachel's asking is, was
Oh.
there a concentrated write-in campaign for 4 different individuals? Because it appears
Yeah.
that 4 different individuals got a numerous.
Numerous.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
I
Yeah.
see.
Was it
I
20,
don't know.
20 people, 20 votes in that slot?
Yes,
Or
in
was
that
it
slot.
20 times
Oh.
a particular individual's name was
In
written?
that
Okay.
slot. So
Okay.
like when you have the write-in votes in that slot, all it tells you at that point is that 49 people voted in slot 1.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Because a person would probably have to read those anyway.
Yeah, somebody has to read those, yeah.
decipher who those write-in people are.
And that, my ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, babies, everybody, doesn't happen until Friday.
Yeah.
So all we know right now is that somebody wrote in that line. That's it.
I wonder, should we get a list of who those individuals are? It'd be interesting to know who
Did that
they
happen
are.
last time? Like I wrote in somebody last time, and I don't think.
So when you look it up online, it won't show you, but I'm sure we can call down there to the
Yeah, be
election
like-
office and really give Jerry Feezer a...
Be like, "Ring, hi, we want a list of everyone."
Absolutely.
He would probably faint.
He would be mad about it, but he would do it. He's
He would
a
do it.
true civil
He's
servant.
the true
He
civil
is.
servant. That's big facts. Big facts on that one. Okay, how you feeling? Next one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we have City of Harrisburg mayor, or should we say it lay that for
Please save that.
save
Hold
that?
that
All right, we'll save that. Okay, let's go to Harrisburg 10th Ward Constable. Do we want to do constables? Not really.
Okay, were there any where there were multiple candidates running?
Well, let's see. So in
How
a
many
10th
had
ward,
candidates?
no. So 10th Ward had a candidate.
Okay.
That's what I said because I was like, really? Susan Wilson, and she's
Okay.
carrying the vote. Okay, 99.2%, 0.22% of the vote.
Okay.
11th Ward did not have anybody, but got a write-in, 7 write-ins. 12th Ward did not have anybody, 8 write-ins. 13, 2 write-ins. But a lot of these precincts, like we were talking about earlier, had no constables on the ballot, which is an interesting job. It's like $38,000.
But you also get paid like a commission
Yeah.
for each person you take down to the booking center.
Oh, what?
You get, and evictions, I believe, too. Like, don't you
What?
get like money for that? When you go to the MDJ's office, if anyone spends time at the MDJ's office, they have a list of like the fees and all that.
Oh,
And there's like
wow.
the constable fees up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they get money for serving people?
Probably.
I know I think they collect. I believe they collect fees for serving warrants and bringing people in based on warrants.
Got it.
I wonder.
What else does a constable do? Because I do not know.
They
Sometimes
serve evictions.
Serve evictions.
some jurisdictions, I believe, put them outside of election places, like particularly like ballot box drop-offs. I do not think that we should be engaging in that practice, but
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
there are municipalities that do that.
What is the reason?
Intimidation.
Well,
Yeah.
also to make sure people are not supposed to drop off other people's ballots.
Right, so you
don't want a
can't do
situation
multiple.
where-
Are they
or-
checking ID though?
Which is also a
No,
little
but
bit
if
intimidating.
if you're harvesting ballots, if you're
Right.
collecting multiple and someone comes in and
Drops off like 15.
right,
Okay.
Yeah.
that'd be an
I
issue.
mean-
Or someone could actually try to, fiddle with the box.
That's
That would be
another
an
one.
issue too. So they're there to protect the ballots. I mean,
The
someone could
phrase
try to-
"fiddle with the box" did not sit well with me.
I couldn't think of the technical term. So fiddle was what came to mind. I meant
Rachel said fiddle with the box. I don't know.
someone could try to open the box and take out ballots. I mean, that could be a thing that
Right.
someone tries
No,
to
I
do.
agree.
That's
I
true.
agree. I do to some extent understand what you're saying, but I also think that like usually that doesn't happen. And when people talk about ballot harvesting, what usually it is like I'm going to go collect my elderly aunties and
Yes.
uncles' mail-in ballots and drop them off because they can't drive.
Yes.
But technically,
Just
Can't
because
do
it's
that.
illegal don't mean it's wrong.
I will say yes to that also.
no, do not tell people that is okay.
This disclaimer.
You have to put your own
disclaimer. Please do not do that.
Do not do that. Correct. So 13th Ward, funny story about the 13th Ward. I actually met the guy who was writing himself in for a constable in the primary. His name was I think Tyre. And he was the one who told me that the police academy was discussing the Hurston Manor incident in the academy.
Wow, you're like
Yeah.
a whole lesson.
Like, should I charge for that? Should I be like, hey, wait a minute?
Yes.
If you want the real class, like, come and let's talk about it, but it's going to cost you $1 million. I don't know. So the reason why I brought that up, that was the 13th Ward, was because he was out there trying to like get on the primary ballot, so he would be on the municipal ballot, the municipal election ballot, and he's not on here.
He didn't make the threshold.
Right. Which I don't understand how that works. So like he was out there like getting people to write him in. So if you get the write-in votes, how does that work for constable? Like if you get 3 write-in votes, doesn't that just mean you're
I think
on the ballot?
unless maybe there's someone else, but then that other person should be on the ballot.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody should
more?
have been on the ballot.
Something
there
very
probably
bizarre.
is some kind of like minimum
Yeah.
threshold.
Okay.
I mean, you think about it, because if it's like 3 people, then you might have a situation where you have like
But for judge of election
So
and
many
inspector of election,
You-
oftentimes
you-
people win with very
with
few
one.
votes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know maybe constable's different?
One thing about constable is that a lot of those places didn't have anyone on the ballot.
No.
And
Ton
that
of 'em.
is, I mean, something that we should think about for a lot of seats.
Yeah.
Why no one's on the ballot and why people are running completely unopposed for those seats. Because, it is bizarre when you get your ballot and you see like there's like 4 or 5 empty positions with no one at all that ran for them.
Absolutely. And constable to me is one of those positions where if it's elected, getting someone elected who's of the community seems to be of utmost importance to me in my mind. But no one was on the ballot in 1-1. That's my precinct.
And I think for constable, and I believe I'm correct on this, and this is why it's more important
Joe
to
can
have
fact
someone.
check us.
Yeah, fact check it, Joe. I believe constables don't only have to serve warrants in their jurisdiction. So, for example, like you could be a constable in Swatara Township, and you can serve a warrant out of a Harrisburg office as long as the MDJ will like let you serve the warrant.
Oh.
And so I believe this is still true. So if that's still the case, then if you're not electing someone in your own jurisdiction, of your own community, of your own neighborhood to that position, you could end up that the people serving warrants in your neighborhood can be someone from Lebanon.
Absolutely. Now, if the person doesn't get, so you can't appoint someone,
What do you mean?
like
I don't
if
know you
nobody
can
gets,
run if you're not from that.
You can't
No, you
run,
can't.
but you can still serve, right? So like if I get elected, if
Okay.
I'm the constable and I get elected in my ward, but your ward doesn't have a constable, there will be a lot of warrants that need serving over there if there's no constable.
so can you appoint? I don't know.
We need
Let's see if you-
fact.
Joe, can you
fact
appoint
check it,
constables?
Joe.
Let's see.
He's on it.
I don't want to speak on what I remember, because I do remember looking up a little bit about the constable's office, but I can't.
Honestly, the biggest limiting factor is probably, at least in New York,
Oh. You have to pay a $3,000 bond on top of getting elected to become. And the filing fee. I forgot about
That's
that.
raggedy.
That's a barrier.
I don't like that.
That's an obstacle. Oh,
What?
wow.
38,000 a year?
You're interacting with
Literally.
people.
No
I mean,
wonder.
I will say I can imagine a scenario where you would need that because again,
Do
you
other
are
public
going
office-
and collecting. You are going sometimes
Yeah.
and retrieving individuals who are not appearing in court based on warrants, and
Yeah.
that can get physical.
Are
In some
police
instances
bonded?
Scary. Are the police bonded?
by the by the taxpayers?
So
They
why
have-
aren't constables bonded by the taxpayers?
Right.
Because because it's a little more. I mean, you're operating. Usually, I think you can appoint a deputy
Got it.
constable. So once you're elected constable, you you may be able to select your own deputy, but you're operating pretty independently, like because
Okay.
you're in an elected position as opposed to being an employee.
An employee. Okay. That makes sense. Wow. Well, this has been a riveting constable conversation. I never thought I would talk so much about constables.
I mean, I
so,
think they're an important position.
I think they're very
in
important.
the conversation
because I've only read
positions.
one name on here. That was an actually on the ballot constable.
Yeah, and when we talk about like particularly like criminal justice reform and all of these things, these positions, constable, magisterial district justice, these little jobs that people think are so small, they are the ones that affect your day-to-day life more than some of these bigger
Absolutely.
these bigger seats. So
Yeah.
I do think it's important that people run for these positions and people who are good people of the community.
Absolutely.
And there are also meaningful ways for people to participate in the community and contribute to the community. I mean,
So
like you
far-
said, if someone's interested in criminal justice reform, there's an opportunity for someone to serve in that capacity in a way that would allow them
Yes.
to have give community members a better experience than maybe others have.
Because I believe they have discretion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just because you have a warrant, I don't think a constable has to take you in. So, like, if you have a warrant on a parking ticket
Oh.
and you're like a grandma that's like 86 years old and you got taken care of 6 kids that aren't yours, they might have the discretion to be like, why don't you try to get this paid in the next 6 weeks?
They do. I remember when I lived in State College and I had a unpaid parking ticket that got pretty in arrears. The constable was like, "Listen, can you get the money by tomorrow?" He goes, "I don't want to arrest your grad school worked really well on folks.
Yeah.
They were like, "You're in grad school. I don't need to arrest you for a parking ticket." I'm like, "Thank you. Just have it by tomorrow." And I did. I would have it by tomorrow. Like it was a nice kind of like alternative to like being arrested for a parking ticket, which is a waste of taxpayer resources. Of all the constable, and we're going to take a break right after this, of all the constable seats that are on the ballot this time, only 4, and there are a ton, only 4 have actual people that are on the ballot. That's it. So I just wonder what would happen.
Do better next time, people. Do better.
All right, let's take a quick break. Basir, take us to a commercial. Appreciate you. Calling all members of the greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a part of our leadership team. Would you like to join our board and get great perks and access in the community? Think about it and let us know. We'd love for you to contact us as soon as possible if you are ready. You can email us at info@ypoc-hbg.org. Well, that was a great first section. Really, the rest of these are all constable. And I do not want to talk about constables anymore. This is the most constable talking I have ever done.
Are we moving on to mayor?
We should.
Let's do it.
All right. So, and then we'll be done with the city seats, and then we can go to judges. Well, judges or county next?
Do we do all the MDJs?
No, we're going to judges. That's
Yeah.
under judges, I believe.
All right.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
Judges,
Sure, why not?
There's common pleas.
Yep, we have district judges, and we have state judges. We have school district, and we have county.
Let's do it.
So, what's that? School district. Yeah, that's another hot one. School
Hot.
district. Very spicy. Woo, my goodness. So, mayor, let's see what's happening on the mayor's side. And remember, folks, we are very early, but we do have the in-person precincts reporting at 10 out of 28 so far now. Pretty good. It's
So
9:25.
what's it looking like?
Let's just. Okay, ready? In-person precinct reporting, 10 of 28. It's pretty good. That's a little under half. Democratic, Williams, Wanda RD, 2,060 votes, 63.52% of the vote. That's gone up a little bit.
Sounds like a majority to me.
Sounds like a majority to me as well. Republican, Rowbottom Timothy has 6.41% of the vote.
Okay.
Who did that noise? It was me. And nonpartisan write-in, 975 votes, 30.06% of the vote so far.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
So there's no way we can call
We're
Not
not calling this.
Not
one.
yet, because
Can't
we only
call
have
it.
10 of 28, and so this was somebody was trying to explain to me, which didn't make sense, but we'll see. This is the in-person precincts reporting.
Right.
So right, if out of the total number of votes, let's see if I get this right, because math is not my thing. Okay, if the candidate is holding over 50% of the vote, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to be, depending on how many write-in or mail-ins that we have.
Right, because I guess I don't know if Pennsylvania has changed their procedure yet. Where I know as of 2020, it still was the procedure that they would hold all of the mail-in ballots until 8 p.m. and then start opening them. Right?
Yes.
They would not start counting before the polls closed.
I think they could process them right before
can-
8, but they can't count them.
Right.
Like they can take
Right.
them out.
Right, they can
so they
take
can
them
know
out
how
of the-
many they have.
That's right.
But they don't start counting.
They can
them.
take them out of the envelopes, and what is the procedure is like not scan them in the scanner, but like the barcode on the envelope is the one that gets scanned so that they know that they received your vote, and then it goes into the system.
So
and
there's not double voting
correct.
by certain.
Yep. So that way they know that Kimeka Campbell didn't vote in person, and then also vote by mail.
Right.
So they scan everything. I think it's tonight. I think.
Yeah. Now, one interesting thing about this is write-in candidate number 1.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I heard who were going to vote for write-in candidate number 1
Right.
had already voted by mail-in ballot.
Right.
So I do wonder how much that will be skewed
Yep.
because of the differences in the communities that are voting
That's
for Wanda, Timothy, and write-in candidate number 1.
Correct. And then how many other writing candidates were there? Because I know that early on got a little interesting because there were several other people who were planning on doing writings, and they were brought into the fold by some of the other writing candidates.
Given jobs.
Correct.
So who were these? Like,
Go ahead.
Given
I
city
think
jobs.
We can.
Yeah, we can say it now.
Speak on. Who
So
these
writing candidate number
individuals
1, I know that it was rumored, allegedly, you guys say that when you're on TV, allegedly, Jenny Jenkins Dallas was going to be doing a write-in.
are. Okay.
We don't know if the Otto Banks campaign also came into the fold with the writing candidate, was going to do one, but that was a rumor, and then very quickly it turned to,
Rumor had it.
yes, rumor had it.
Yeah.
Rumor had it. So I don't know, I didn't hear, again, once everybody came into the fold, I didn't hear anything else. I
That
don't
is
know.
one way to consolidate whatever power you can. Just
Yes.
like every other loser from the primary, I will hire you for
Yeah.
my campaign, for a city job, for anything else.
It's not an unsmart strategy.
It's not for writing candidate number 1. I don't know if it is for the people who
Correct.
were bought.
That part.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we'll keep watching that one. Ready to go to county? Or should we,
do it.
okay, well, here's your choices. Here's your choices. It is a bag of mixed goods here. We've got county. We've got district judges. We've got school district. And we have state judges.
Can we breeze through county? Because it's not even that exciting.
All right, ready?
Yep.
First, we have 12th District Judge of the Court of Common Pleas. We have Latasha C. Williams. We have Jeff Engel. And we have nonpartisan write-in.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any of...
Do we have numbers?
Do we have numbers? Because this
10
is
out of
actually-
159.
All right.
So it's, we got to wait.
Steve Kornacki would call it.
But so far, it's not looking terrible. We've got Democratic Williams Latasha C. But it's early, so we're going to make sure we have our asterisk. Right. It is early. 12,000 votes, 72.09% of the vote. 12,175 to Jeff Engel's 27.82% of the vote, 4,698. And this is of in-person precincts reporting.
So, and I didn't do any type of statistical analysis, but I will say 10 precincts reporting and 10 reporting in Harrisburg means the only precincts we're reporting, and my math seems pretty good, are going to be in Harrisburg.
That's right.
Which is the seat of people of color.
That's right.
In the county, and I have a strong belief that's where a lot of Latasha Williams' vote is going to come from.
Yes.
So I think that it's still too early to know with those numbers.
Absolutely. Okay. Yep, you're right, because the citywide coroner, same deal. So the very weird man, Democratic/Republican, Graham Heatrick, is 97.48% of the vote with 10 precincts reporting. He's very weird, though.
Yeah. I would like you to know that there's going to be at least one write-in, and that write-in...
There are 357 write-ins to vote so far.
At least one of them is Dr. Strange.
Absolutely.
So...
Okay.
Okay.
Does he still have a TV show?
No.
Okay.
No.
But he still talks about it.
He does.
To anyone who will listen.
He still talks about it like it's on air right now.
Yeah. Have you seen my show, The Coroner?
Very weird, like I said. He also had weird-ass shit to say about the coronavirus. I don't know.
Lies to say?
Very, very, very strange.
Yeah.
Skip him. Okay.
Allegedly.
Countywide controller. 2-year. Eric Epstein versus Mary Bateman. Okay. Eric, with those 10 counties reporting, 75.42% of the vote. Mary, 24.5% of the vote. Nonpartisan write-in, 13.
Still too early to call because
way
the
too early
rest
to
of the
call.
county's out and we are in the Democratic seat.
Absolutely.
But Eric is no longer on the Central Dauphin School Board.
No?
He ran in the primary on both.
I thought so.
Yeah. But,
Did he lose the primary?
Well,
the
he
school
ain't
board?
on the ballot.
Yes, not.
I wonder if he could hold both.
Yeah, if it's a conflict of interest.
I
don't
think
know.
Central Dauphin School Board is also all volunteer anyway, so maybe you can still hold both, but...
And they're also technically, different branches of government. Like, not branches of government. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's branches of government. I don't know how to call that.
Different jurisdictions.
There we
'Cause You
go.
have the county, and then you have the.
But if you're
school
like
district,
mayor-
so I don't know
Yeah.
if you could.
It wouldn't be a smart strategy to run for both.
Right.
Because then you'd have to focus and people would get confused. There'd be
Absolutely.
signs that say you're running for the county controller. There'd be signs that say you're running
Right.
for the school board, and people are easily confused. So it makes sense that you choose one or the other, even if you... I think there was a hedging of bets during the primary that was happening.
There a couple of people did that. They ran for like multiple things. Like I think a couple folks at the city level also ran for like 2 things, which is weird, but okay. Now, I don't know what the law is or the rule is or whatever it's called, the statute, I don't know, in Pennsylvania. But like if I ran for mayor and then I ran for like state rep, would I have to like give up my mayor job?
But that's why I was just about to ask. I mean, because again, they're two
Oh, you
different
know who's going to tell us? It's Joe.
It's Joe.
Can you run for mayor and then run for state rep and then do you have to give it up?
I can't see any reason why not. There was a dude from Vermont who ran for governor.
But in Pennsylvania,
There's no reason why it wouldn't be.
So you can run for them all. But
I
can
love
you
that
hold
Joe
them
is
all?
fact-checking
Well,
in
I
his
don't-
own
He's
thing.
like, should be. Yeah, Joe's like, should be fine.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Should be all right. Ain't no problem. Okay.
If you
That's great. Yeah, he's a sound guy.
And on the spot, someone would say it depends.
It depends. It really does. Like, I think it was either Ezra Match or somebody ran for a couple different things. City council and
Ezra
school
Match.
board.
It was Ezra Match, I think. Yeah,
City
yeah,
council and school
But
board. Yeah.
Those are still two different jurisdictions,
Yep.
right? So they have different powers. My sense would be that, like, if you wanted to run for mayor and city council member, because that's the same jurisdiction,
Right.
city of Harrisburg, you probably couldn't do both of those things. But I don't know if you could.
You actually might be able to run for them. You
But
just
not
might actually
hold
be
the
able to
seat.
hold
No, you
the
wouldn't
office.
be able to hold both offices. But
Okay.
could you hold both offices if you're like mayor of a city and then
A state rep.
representative? Because they're, although then you
If you don't show up to
Still, you're
19
still
consecutive
kind of a-
city council meetings, you could potentially do both.
cities are state created entities, so
Yes.
then you're still like acting.
You're
on
still
behalf of the
double dipping
state,
a little bit.
Still kind of double dipping.
Yeah.
But like, could you be a federal senator?
Right.
Right, U.S. senator, and then also the mayor.
A
of your
mayor,
city?
right. I don't know. That's a good question. And Joe's not going to look it up for us, so it's fine. County. Prothonotary. Now, y'all know Matt is a favorite in this race.
People like Matt.
Crump. People love. I talked to so many people today at the polls who were like, "We are voting for Matt Crump."
He's a nice guy.
Period.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Personal friend, and a fantastic person all around. We also have Anju Singh, who's also been on the show, friend of the show. Full disclosure, I asked both of them to come on, but we ran out of time. Not that Matt didn't want to come. He actually was like, yes. But Anju has, of course, those 10 precincts reporting, 72% to Matt's 27%. But he carried last time. So,
Again, his vote is going to be outside of the city of
outside,
Harrisburg.
Yes. He carried. And those are the county seats.
Wow.
That's what we got. All right. Here are your choices. We've done county and we've done municipal. We have district judges. We have, I'm not doing those, elected judge of elections. That's okay. Election officials. We have school district and state judges.
Can we talk about MDJs?
Yes, that's district judges. Let's go. All right. So on the ballot this time, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MDJ positions up. So let's go to the first one. Okay. In 12-1-01, we have 0% of the precincts reporting, but we still have lots of votes in. So I don't know. With 2548 votes, Marion, oh boy, Yerusha? Sure. Marion Yerusha has 78.06% of the vote to Greg Mills is 21.78% of the vote. So that's in 12-1-01. Anybody know who that is? I don't know who any of those people are. Okay, great. Next, we have Kenneth L Lanker. Dem rep, so that's both. And
He's a
actually,
Republican.
His bar is purple because he's Dem rep.
No, he's
He's
a
a
Republican.
Republican.
He cross-filed and
did.
wasn't unopposed, so he
Very
can actually
not
be both.
Unopposed, right? Very
Yes.
not. Yes. So gonna get in again. Ooh. 12-2-04. Y'all know who that is. That is the Honorable Sonia M. McKnight.
Miss Sonia.
2 out of 5 precincts reporting, 97.88% of the vote.
She been out here.
She been out
They
there.
tried to bring her down.
They did try.
They
did.
really tried.
They tried really hard.
Couldn't hold her back. Could not hold her down.
She also cross-filed.
yeah.
Dem Republican, and her bar is also purple. I think that's pretty cool that they put them purple. I just kind of like just little things like that. 12-2-05, Paul T. Zozos, purple, 97.61.
This is the importance, people, of running
I'm
in a
telling you.
primary.
I'm telling
because, yeah.
Well, also, did every opposing candidate cross file?
No, not everyone.
Only Sonia, Zozos, I think Lanker.
Yeah, yes.
Most of the new people who are like new
To the
to
game,
running did not cross file.
Correct.
But these old heads, they knew what
They
they
knew-
were
they
up
knew-
against.
they
And
know
they
the
said,
game.
Do them both.
They know the game.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you are interested about running for one of these offices, it's important that you do some research.
Absolutely.
I'm
And
not
you should
saying-
cross-fi-
I'm not
And you should
suggesting
cross-file.
I
You should
know what-
always cross-file.
if your position allows you to cross file.
I was going to say, we don't have a lot of positions where you can. It's the MDJs, it's school board,
School board.
school boards usually.
and one other. I can't remember what it is right now. Was it prothonotary?
You get cross-files coroner.
Coroner. No, you cannot cross-file as coroner.
Hetrick's on the ballot as.
He is, but he didn't cross-file. That was a write-in. We had this discussion on the internets.
Oh, my
Right.
goodness.
So he actually...
he got people to write him in.
to the tune of 1,700 votes.
Who are you? Who
To
is
the
doing
tune of
this?
1,700 votes. So that's how he became...
All fans of the coroner.
That's how he became the nominee on both tickets. He did not cross-file because that's not one of the positions you cross-file for. Right. Now, but that shows you the power of organizing around write-in, right? So, like, while you can't cross-file, you can absolutely have people write you in on the other side, too.
Well, and a lot of that has to do with familiarity.
Absolutely.
Familiarity.
Yes, absolutely. All right,
You
let's
guys
keep
know what
it,
I meant.
Let's keep it pushing. We only got 19 minutes. Let's go. Because we're getting out of here. All right? We got some celebrating to do, hopefully. 3-3. Did I do 3-3? 12-2. So Pamela Thompson and William Wenner with 1,776 votes so far, 0 out of the 12 reporting. 1167 to Pamela Thompson and 598 to William Wenner.
Wait, you said 0% reporting.
Yes, 0% of the precincts.
These
reporting.
numbers are not adding up. Wenner's
I
the
know.
incumbent.
Huh?
Wenner's the incumbent, right?
Wenner?
Yeah.
Is Wenner the incumbent?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Joe's not looking up anything. Wenner's the incumbent.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's over here like in the Library of Congress looking up
Right.
statutes.
What is
He's
it?
like,
reading
listen,
the PA
he literally
state
offered
constitution.
to fact check that. He's like, this shit is too hard.
He's like, sounds right to me.
That's hilarious. Okay, so then we got 12-3-04. Jamie Wetzel, Dominic A. Polino, with Jamie having 69.19% of the vote. That's so interesting to me. So interesting. So that is also 0 of 17. Precincts reporting. I don't know, Rachel, how you can have 0 reporting with all these. I don't know, dear. Because she's like,
Even for those for those positions, there's only a few precincts assigned to each MDJ. So for at least one of them to report some information, you should have a big percentage. So the fact that there's 0 precincts.
I wonder if it's 0, 100% reporting.
yeah, it's 0, 100% reporting. Correct.
Yeah, so they might be like,
couple
we giving you a little reporting. We giving you
Right.
50% of what we got over here, but we ain't 100%
They're
reporting
not
yet.
100% sure. Right. That's what I think. That's what I'm
Yeah.
hoping they mean, because I really don't.
Was that the last one?
12-3-05, Hannah Sir, 1070, 68.94% of the vote. And Dale E. Klein, 30.99% of the vote.
Okay.
That's it. And one write-in so
Yeah.
far.
MDJs are super important. MDJs are so
Big
important.
time.
Yeah, they, again, criminal justice reform. They set cash bail. They decide whether or not you go to jail on a ticket or
All of
other
those
things.
things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So now we have done county. We've done district judge. We're not going to do election officials because why? But I will tell you what they are. Judge of elections and inspector of elections. If you've never served in any kind of political elected office, try out judge of elections and inspector of elections. You learn everything about elections and how everything works. I'm a big fan of trying those out. Yeah.
And they have sometimes a smaller commitment than some
Much
of these
smaller
other
commitment.
positions. I think that it's a very good suggestion just because I think a lot of times people are drawn to the positions that they know. And
The flashier.
Right. And so the first thing they do is like, I'm going to run for state rep. And they don't understand necessarily all the responsibilities and the inner workings of how things work.
Absolutely.
Work your way up.
Work your
I mean,
way up.
I'm not suggesting that someone can't run for the position that they want to run for, but it could be a good idea to start with some of the smaller
I agree.
positions, especially these ones where there's no one running. and you
Especially
could
those.
Take the opportunity to serve
And
your
you
community.
build name recognition too.
Right.
Also,
Exactly.
if you
And
want to be a
then-
soccer star, you don't start out trying out for the World Cup team, right?
That part.
You don't. So you're like doing an amateur team.
Unless you're like Barack Obama.
Barack Obama at the World Cup?
But part
No,
of the
Barack-
problem
I'm like,
is
Barack
that we
Obama-
expect everyone to be Barack Obama, and
Yeah, that's what
no
I'm saying.
one's
Unless
Barack Obama.
And everybody thinks they're Barack Obama.
Right.
Okay. So Barack Obama was like a junior senator, and then he was president.
correct.
That's what happened.
At least he was a senator. At least he wasn't like school board candidate turned president of the United States.
I mean, at least he wasn't a never politician turned president of the United States.
Listen, I was working for this my whole life.
So Ruthie does impressions.
I do.
Oh, okay. Get it together, Campbell. All right. What do we do? County, district judges, election officials, municipal.
We're talking about judges?
Huh?
Judge, like the judges, state judges.
All right, let's do it.
Super
We've got
important.
retention. Let's see what the retention vote is. So, dang.
the retention
Nonpartisan,
vote is
yes.
be over.
Nonpartisan, no. Nonpartisan, yes, is 61.92%. That's 159 of 159. So how did they get those so fast?
They was like, oh, okay, we got them counted.
Because there's only two options, yes or no, and they're easy to count.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
don't you run them all through the same machine?
Right. So how come y'all don't know the rest?
What's going on here?
Sometimes you recount certain
Ooh. Because of the margins.
right.
Because of the
Okay.
tails you put on there.
It's probably my tail. They're like, is this a tadpole? Or did she really mean to do this?
Right. I wish happens all the time. I wish we would have educated people more on stuff like this. Like those 4 questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. And nonpartisan, no, 38.08. So, that's what's happening there. And then state judges. Oh, what happened?
Just a quick comment about
Uh-huh.
that. I mean, you know me, like I said earlier, like I think it's important to look up your ballot. I didn't necessarily
Absolutely.
do that this time. Maybe a little bit hypocritical because I talk about looking it up, but
I don't think
honestly,
so.
sometimes life happens. I think it's also important to be strategic in how we educate people about
Absolutely.
voting because honestly, something like to retain a judge, yes or no, while judges are important, we know that the likelihood that the no comes out if people aren't educated and totally like outraged by a certain judge's behavior is unlikely, right? So
Absolutely.
they're probably going to be retained.
And most people don't know who they are.
If you have a limited amount of time to educate people, it does make sense to focus on some of the more contested items on the ballot.
Absolutely.
So it's not. I mean, like everyone should be educated on as much as possible, but there's also the practicality of it. Like, okay, what are the really important races?
Agreed.
That we need to focus on and educate people about.
Yes. And so the precincts are messing me up. So I'm gonna just read them. Okay. Statewide judge of the Commonwealth Court, vote for 2. Okay. 10 of the 159 reporting. So that's 10. Lori A. Dumas, 40.51% of the vote. David Lee Spurgeon, 32.62% of the vote. Dems. Republicans, Stacey Marie Wallace, 12% of the vote. Drew Crompton, who I really hated his signs, I just want to say, because they said straight out of Crompton.
Oh,
and
I
was
do
like,
not like that.
you see?
see those.
And every time I passed it on the highway, I was like,
I do not like
did
that.
not see
but these are
those.
just the Dauphin County precincts.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
these are state seats.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's 10 out of 159. But then you go down to,
I think I may have had the statewide.
so no, I was wrong. So statewide, so Lori A. Dumas and David Lee Spurgeon. Now, statewide judge for the Superior Court, Kimeka D. Lane, with those 10 reporting, It has 74.28% of the vote. Megan Sullivan, 25.65. But again, 10 out of the 159, right? Maria McLaughlin, 13,077.27% of the vote. And Kevin Brobson, 22.69% of the vote. With those 10 reporting.
And I have the statewide.
Okay, what are the
numbers.
state numbers?
So right now, looking at, so McLaughlin and Brobson, who are running for Supreme Court, and McLaughlin, I'm not 100% certain, drawing a blank right now, but I believe she was on the Court of Common Pleas. She's from Philadelphia.
Yes.
Yes.
And Brobson, I know for sure, is a current Commonwealth Court judge.
Got it.
McLaughlin, who is the Dem, is winning is reporting 57.9%.
Really?
And Brobson is at 42.10, and that is, they're not showing how much the percentage of reporting
Right.
that's in.
We don't know
but
who's reporting. Like, we don't know if Philly has
it's
shown up
about-
yet.
Correct.
It's about, Philly usually comes in
Last,
earlier,
dead
right?
last.
It's about
Really?
800,000, just under 800,000.
Got it. Okay.
And then, sorry, this print is really small.
Don't
For
you
a
have an iPhone?
superior
You go like
court?
it. Turn it to the side. You got an iPhone.
That's true. Anyway, Kimeka Lane has 54.4%, and then Megan Sullivan has 45.6%.
Kimeka Lane has 54%?
54.
Huh. Okay.
John Bender, these are retention numbers. It's 62.9% yes. Mary Jane Bowes has 63.68% yes.
At the state level. That's right.
Yes. Then for Commonwealth Court, we have Lori Dumas, that is 29.8.2%. David Spurgeon is at 27.25%. Stacey Marie Wallace, who's the two Republicans, are at 22.28%.
Oh, it's
and
kinda-
Compton
it's kinda close.
is at 20.65. So it's
Wow.
very close. I
Wow.
mean, it's for...
Could we see more women on the court?
So first of all, and black women,
Black and brown women? Yeah.
And the thing is about this is that the court, what is it like? It's overwhelmingly Democratic anyway, right? It's like 5-3, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Pretty Democratic.
And so this would, like, I don't think we're gonna end up with a Republican
No.
court.
If anything, we stay the
The
same.
Supreme Court?
Yes.
Yes, because...
Well, the only one we have left.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, it's 9:53. Only one we have left really is Harrisburg School District. We should have done that one. Okay, well. Let's see here. Dem Radcliffe has 46 with 10 out of 28 precincts reporting, 46.53% of the vote. Roy, 42.4% of the vote.
Is this for 4-year or 2-year?
This one is 2 year.
4
Sorry,
years and 2
2-year.
this one is for 2 year.
Okay.
And I think 2 year vote for 2. So for the most part, if it trends, I don't see why not, but those two actually. But for Radcliffe and Roy, they're in the lead. And then 4 year vote for 4, Brian Carter, Danielle Robinson, Rosalind Copeland, and Jamie Johnson are the top 4 so far.
I believe those are all the Democrats on the ballot.
Yes. that's
So
correct.
again, that tracks.
That tracks, yeah.
For the city of Harrisburg.
So and it's interesting because Ezra Match is on here.
Yep.
He's not doing bad. For the Republican, he has 597 votes, and then James Beer Murray the fourth, I think. He has 559. And then
I
there's a
remember
bunch of
seeing
write-ins.
someone with the middle name Bear and being like, I don't know if that's like, I would want, I don't know
To have
why
that
it's an
name, right?
arbitrary thought, but to have someone with the middle name Bear on a school board.
Oh, clutch my pearls. I don't know if I want that name on the school board.
That was a new name to me because
It
even
was,
though
and
we
he-
had a lot of
Right.
there was a lot of kind of meet and greets and
Ain't never seen that person.
Never heard him.
Never heard of him.
online events for the school board candidates. I don't remember.
Don't remember.
We
it.
would remember a
name.
bear if we met
Absolutely
one.
would remember a bear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we had county, district, election officials, which we kind of went by, municipal, school district, and state judges. That's a lot of stuff on the ballot.
Yeah.
I feel.
It was two sides.
Two sides for a municipal ballot.
I was sweating.
I was sweating. I definitely did a couple deep breaths. I turned on my Apple Watch and I was like, all right, breathe, girl. Just breathe for a minute. And then go ahead and
a lot of circling
Yeah,
and
a lot of circling.
coloring in.
I had a hand cramp. I had to stop and give myself a little massage.
Absolutely.
We need better pens. We need
Yeah, Jerry. Next year, or Jerry, if you're watching, better pens
Better
at the
pens,
polling
Jerry.
place, please.
like more like fluid. Like we
They
need
were dry
gel
pens,
They were
Jerry.
dry
We need
pens,
gel
Jerry.
pens. That's what we need.
Yeah, because the pens that they had, the pens
the
were
big-
like, you would like, you remember in school when your pencil, you would be kind of nervous taking a test and you would bubble and you would like bubble through the paper. That's how I felt like I was going to do
Yes.
on all of the
We
bubbles.
need gel
And I don't know about
pens.
you guys' polling place, but at my polling place, they had all the pens already unsheathed. So the caps
Did they?
were off.
So they were
You were
dry
drying
as hell.
out the pens.
Yep, they was dry. Them pens was dry as hell.
We can
Absolutely.
take the lids off. We're dexterous. If we need help,
Absolutely
we'll
not.
ask.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, we got rid of
Oh.
our touch screens in Harrisburg.
I thought
Yeah, we got.
I thought
not
everyone
new ones.
has paper now because
No,
then we
just
have a record.
everybody in Harrisburg.
Every county has different machines. York is
Still.
different. Cumberland is different.
Still different.
Yeah.
What was Jill Stein for? I thought Jill Stein got us all paper ballots.
Nope.
2016.
She did not get us all paper ballots.
All
in
she did was get us
2016.
Donald
Sorry, buddy.
Trump.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, bud.
I thought Jill Stein got us paper ballots so that if we needed a recount, we like had documentation. I thought that
No,
was the point.
that wasn't.
This is
No.
the one time
that
where like
didn't happen.
paper is supposed to be better than like a digital record.
So we have two more. Yes. So we have two more things to talk about. One, I just want to say I still think voter turnout was pretty not great. How do we get people to come out during these? I feel like local elections matter most, municipal elections, because it directly affects your quality of life.
Yeah.
That's first.
First of all, a holiday.
National holiday.
A holiday.
I agree.
Second of all, candidates that people care about, candidates that inspire people to get up and go out the door on a dreary, miserable, cold Tuesday in November.
Absolutely.
And go vote. I'm sorry to say, but like in Harrisburg, one of the most inspiring things about this election cycle was that Pappenfuss was going to be gone,
Yes.
right? That was what was bringing people out, but that's not quite enough for a lot of people,
It's not.
right? And we really need to have candidates. When I was out today at Dine, I was trying to get people to the polls. So I'm like out, like grabbing people. Did you vote yet? Did you vote yet? Did you vote yet? And I'm hearing people and they're like, I just don't vote because if I vote for these people, they're not going to do anything for me anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like, all of these people lie. They don't make my life arguably better. I'm not voting in municipal elections. And it's like, I get it, kind of. I almost didn't want to do it, but like I knew I had to.
But if you don't participate, how can you say that
That's the question.
they aren't going to do anything different?
I
Like-
wish it's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies. When you don't
Right.
vote, people don't feel like they should be accountable to you, right? These elected officials, and they're accountable to, just the river wards or just whatever, wards vote for them. And so, yeah,
A lot of politicians, regardless if you turn out and vote for them, don't hold themselves accountable really to their constituents, especially at the local level. Even the people who voted for them, they hold themselves accountable to their donors at the end of the day. And like people know that. That's why there needs to be like Pennsylvania needs better election campaign finance laws. Like it's very important. But we need to have better parties. Like we need to have a better, stronger local parties that are actually building up the next generation of leaders, telling people to run for offices, like you said, the inspector of elections and stuff like that to build themselves up and really developing future leaders. Because without that, without the inspiration, we're not going to have it. I was thoroughly uninspired by my ballot. Thoroughly uninspired. I went to vote because it's my civic duty. We've heard that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really do think that you need inspiring candidates. When we talked about everybody wants to be Barack Obama was inspiring. when people heard him talk, folks, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, it's going to be hope, it's going to be change, and they loved it.
Okay, with the impressions. Okay, but I'm going to push back on that a little bit because these are municipal elections. Barack Obama was a national candidate who had tons of donor support. These are everyday people running. They have lives to live themselves, so I don't think they necessarily need to be inspiring. I think it needs to be. I agree with that to an extent, but I also, like I said, I'm pushing back because we want everyday people to run for these positions, and they don't. I think you need to have, something pushing you to run as a candidate, but you don't have time to necessarily inspire people to get out. We need to have people understand why these roles are important, regardless of whether or not the candidates are inspiring.
Absolutely.
Because uninspiring candidates make big, major decisions about our everyday lives too. I think it's a part of what has happened is that we've allowed people to be uninspired and think that that's because they're uninspired that it doesn't matter. I think that whole narrative just plays into, what people want, which is, let me just pull myself back a little bit. I was talking too fast.
I understand.
My point is that people want people to be uninspired on their own.
Absolutely.
And we have this narrative that people need to be inspired. People need to be informed and need to understand how things work.
Inspired versus informed.
I think you can do both. And I agree with what you're saying. Not everyone is going to be, and these are workaday people. Like, I 100% agree. But my point about local parties building people up is you can be trained to be inspiring. You can be trained to talk like this. Like, these are all things that people are trained to do. And, like, it can go a long way. And I think there's a little bit of push and pull there. But when you have a candidate that comes, knocks on your door, I voted for Sue Helm once. Because she knocked on my door and talked to me for like an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I had like written a constituent concern and she like talked to me about it for an hour. I don't even like Sue Helm. And I voted for her. I'm admitting this allegedly.
I'm admitting this allegedly.
You just admitted it. It's
Allegedly.
It's
not
not
alleged
alleged.
anymore. We saw
Roll
you.
the tape.
It's a party admission. You admitted.
Literally. So, we are at the end of our time, but we have one more thing to talk about. So speaking of inspiration and, what was the other one? Inspiration versus what?
Information.
Yes. Inspiration versus information. 2022 is like a couple of months away. What we doing in 2022? What's going on?
There's some elections happening in 2022. Big ones.
I heard the governor's seat is up.
The governor's seat is up, and there's about 1,400 Republicans running.
I saw that.
And one Democrat.
One. Count it. One. We also have state rep.
Yeah, PA state reps are up for re-election.
Senator.
And we have our senator to the U.S. Senate is no longer going to be our senator, and we have
Amen.
We have some candidates, and that's going to be a big race. We've got the Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman. We've got State Rep Malcolm Kenyatta. We've got Val Arkush, who is a doctor. We've got Eric Orts, who's a professor. We've got State Senator Sharif Street, who is also running, and we've got Connor Lamb, who's a representative.
And I'm inviting them all to a debate. That's what I'll be doing with that.
Good luck.
I'm serious. I've already reached out to them.
Oh, have you?
Huh?
You have?
Yeah. I've gotten some responses.
Okay. I was going to say, good luck.
Let's see how
Gotten
they
some
play to the mid-state. That would be
interesting.
Kenyatta has been playing to the mid-state.
Has.
He has been since last year
Certainly
during the
has.
general election. He was out here knocking doors for local
Yes, he
local
was.
state house people. Kenyatta has been really courting the central PA vote. Fetterman just does it with his, memes.
Literally.
And he'll come and pat people on the head. He'll be at the strike and stuff like that. But Kenyatta really has been putting in some legwork out here in central Pennsylvania. Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
I've been getting emails from at least two of the candidates.
Yes.
That I'm ready to stop already.
So, I mean, early predictions. Who do you think has that Senate seat?
Fetterman, okay, this is going to be controversial. I think Fetterman is honestly like he's the one that progressives are pouring money into from across the state. And I think he's like the favorite to win right now. But I have a theory.
I'm ready.
It's controversial. But when people actually show up to the polls, there's a white woman doctor running, and these suburban white women are going to get to that poll and be like, you want to know what? I'm going to vote for Val Arkush.
Well, she's also a Montgomery County commissioner. And
Yeah.
done quite a bit there. Yeah. Montgomery County, Pennsylvania.
So she's a doctor and a commissioner. So she's got some name recognition in certain places, probably.
Yeah, and she's holding down 2 jobs. What's more American than that?
It's pretty American.
Yeah.
I don't know. Malcolm Kenyatta, he's been on MSNBC. He was on MSNBC quite a bit during the 2020 election.
He was.
And I know some of the hosts are just enthralled with him.
Love him.
So
Very charming.
Very-
A lot of star power.
Super
there.
charming.
A lot of star power. And then governor, who do you think is going to get that one?
Well, okay, for the primary, all right. We only have one Democrat running, which is Shapiro. People, we need more Democrats running. We cannot just anoint kings. Even if we want him to be the governor, we need other people to challenge him, or he will just do whatever he wants and not respond to the people because he does not have to. I think it's really going to be interesting. Particularly because of the vitriol with COVID and the Governor Wolf and the masking mandate, I think this is going to be a really hard one to call.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think we're going to have to see how it plays out. Wolf is very unpopular with Republicans, but he's also somewhat unpopular with some Democrats as well. So it'll be interesting, especially with the masking situation.
Yeah.
So I just think it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
That should be interesting. Well, it's 10:06. We didn't do too bad.
No,
Only 6 minutes over time.
fairly good.
And I'd like to say thank you guys for joining us for my second election special. We will be back next Wednesday with a great show for you. We're at the, what is my show called? Black NewsBeat. I'm tired. I've been at the polls all day, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I did it, okay? So we'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining us, and good night. I am tired. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You and me both. It's a school night.
You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes.
You yelled it, and it was super helpful. It makes my life very easy.